Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our YouTube channel once again. And it is my hope and prayer that this video is actually going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I am fine, as you can see. Kisumu is also fantastic, and maybe you could also let me know where you're watching the video from, the county or the country, in case you are out of the republic. Ladies and gentlemen, Francis Atwoli, the Kotu Secretary General, and Raila Odinga today met for the first time since Francis Atwoli defected from Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Alliance to join Kenya Kwanza. And for me, that meeting in Vihiga during the burial of the late Omondi is significant, politically speaking, for four main reasons. Number one, the fact that Atwoli and Raila were meeting for the first time since that defection meant that majority of Kenyans were eagerly awaiting to hear what Raila Odinga was going to say in the presence of Atwoli, and what Atwoli was also going to say in the presence of Raila Odinga. Indeed, just shortly, I'm going to play for you the clip of the two encounters. Number two, the fact that Francis Atwoli was a key player in Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Alliance is also significant. And Kenyans were eagerly awaiting to hear what Atwoli was going to tell Raila in his presence and how Raila Odinga was going to react. Of course, Atwoli, having been a key player in Azimio, he used to host Azimio events, meant that he has a lot of information about Azimio and the last general election. So for me, that's also significant. Number three, the fact that this encounter is coming at a time when the cost of living is so high and the workers are actually heavily being taxed by William Ruto, and Atwoli is the Secretary General, and Raila Odinga is actually pushing for strikes over the cost of living and taxation, means that it was significant. What was Atwoli going to say? What was Raila going to say? And lastly, this encounter also came just shortly after William Ruto's 5-day tour of Western Kenya, or the Luhya Nation. So in this video, I want us to do a critical analysis of that particular encounter. Before we do it, I want you guys to listen to Raila Odinga's message to Francis Atwoli.
Manake Wakenya wengi wamelia zaidi. Wamelia zaidi ya kwamba gharama ya maisha imepanda. Bei ya unga imepanda. Bei ya sukari imepanda. Bei mafuta imepanda. Nauli ya kusafiri imepanda. Stima imepanda, kila kitu imepanda juu zaidi. Mpaka tunasema punda imechoka. Punda imechoka. Sasa sisi tunasema kama wanasiasa, yale maneno tunasema nitakana Atwoli ndiye aongoze kusema kama kiongozi wa wafanyikazi. Yale tunasema hata kuambia Wakenya waende kwa barabara, hiyo ni kazi ya Atwoli. Anasema ni anakwenda huko pande ile nyingine ya serikali, pembe nyingine pale anasema ati wengine shenzi sana. Shenzi sana. Yeye ndio shenzi sana yeye. Yeye ni shemeji yangu huyu Atwoli. Shemeji yangu. Lakini nimwambia wewe kama kiongozi wa kazi, kaa hapa. Wacha yule mama Murgo ambaye anawakilisha waajiri, utajiri, akae pale, na Ruto akae pande nyingine. Kama wewe unakwenda kwa mkutano ya Ruto na msifu, wakazi uko hapo. Mbona hujaambia shida ya wafanyikazi? Wafanyikazi wako na shida sana, itakani ya toporanya ndio nasema, Raila ndio nasema, hiyo ni kazi yako. Shida hii kama hakuna shida. Shida iko. Shida iko. Si ndio? Hiyo tutajenga Kenya.
But there's one thing I like with Raila and Atwoli, they normally refer to themselves as shemeji. Then now, listen in to Francis Atwoli's response to Raila Odinga.
Na Oparanya anajua angelikuwa hapa kabla hatujafika kwa election pale Tamarind. Niliambia shemegi yangu hii kura tushindi. Niliwaambia mapema, wanajua, sio kwamba hawajui. Na election ilipokwisha, sisi ndio tulikuwa na President Uhuru Kenyatta. President mzima muwe na yeye mshindwe election. Ana vitu yote ya serikali, polisi, kila kitu. Matiang'i ambaye alikuwa ni waziri wa mambo ya ndani, wote majeshi, yeye alikuwa amiri jeshi mkuu. Kama nyinyi hamkushinda kura Wycliffe, si Uhuru angelikataa kupeana ile panga ya inchi, angelikataa kupeana serikali. Sasa anakuja Tanganya mzee Raila shemiki yangu tufanye maandamano. Supreme Court ilimaliza haya maneno. Na sisi sisemi uongo, agents wetu wote katika Republic of Kenya hatukukuwa na agent kwa hii election. Utashinda election hakuna agent. Nikauliza agents wako wapi? Na mimi sipendi kushindwa. Nikarudi nikauliza Reverend Joel Kandiechebi, hii ni mambo gani tuliingia ndani? Nyinyi mnakumbuka hata mzee Rajabu huyu amelala, alituambia tukiwa mbele, akasema mimi sikukuwa na nyinyi. Because nilijua unaenda kushindwa. Sasa na nilikuwa nao nikitembea, nilikuwa nasema shenzi sana. Hata kama nachelewa kidogo wanasema kuja sema shenzi sana. Sasa tena wanarudi wanasema wewe wacha kuita wapi? Because mimi nilirudi kwa ofisi. Na ukweli wa maneno ni ya kwamba hawana ofisi. Na mimi ndio najaribu kuwatafutia ofisi.
So in this video, I want us to do a critical analysis of that encounter. But before we do it, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to dive in. But before we do that, I want to thank the following people for the coffee which I received. Thank you so much. And it goes a long way in helping me produce more content. You can also do the same using the numbers you are seeing on your screen. And by the way, Cleophas Malala today said something which is going to form the basis of our analysis, maybe on Monday, that ANC party of Musalia Mudavadi is actually a village party. Cleophas Malala was or is a close associate, of Musalia Mudavadi. Then Ruto picked Malala to become the Secretary General of UDA party. Then today, he's talking of his party as a village party. That's the party that elected him to serve as the senator of Kakamega in 2017. Again, if you are to be successful, today Malala would be the governor for Kakamega, courtesy of ANC party. The party is now referring to as village party. Why do you think he referred to that party as village party? Because in politics there are no coincidence. That's going to be a juicy story. So I'll come with it. Probably tomorrow I'll not be there, but I know for sure that if I'll be there, the first video would be that. And if I'll not be there tomorrow, on Monday, that's going to be the first video. Now, why do you think the encounter between Atwoli and Raila was significant? What message did you get or pick from that encounter? Number one, for me, I'm looking at Raila Odinga's attacks on Francis Atwoli, because if you listen to that clip, he kind of attacked Atwoli. I think it's part of Raila Odinga's strategy to counter William Ruto's moves, especially the defectors. Atwoli defected, so Raila Odinga took him on. Who else defected? And of course, for those who follow this channel, earlier today, though the video is not doing so well, I explained to you guys some of the things that Raila Odinga and Azimio can actually do to try and thwart William Ruto's onslaught on Azimio's strongholds. And one of them, I explained, was that Raila Odinga needed to start going out to the villages to interact with people and target community events like funeral. You know, in Western Kenya here, we love community events, things like funeral bring people together. So Raila Odinga, in my view, has started implementing some of those strategies. So for me, it's just part of his strategy to counter William Ruto. He's now telling them, Atwoli was with us. He's supposed to be fighting for the workers. But what is he doing? He's not fighting for workers. He's busy praising songs of William Ruto. And if you ask me, I tend to think that the listeners, the people really addressed, who are mainly Kotu workers, listened to Raila Odinga. Number two, I'm also trying to figure out that Raila Odinga is actually trying to set up a Atwoli against two group of people. Number one, against the workers of the Republic of Kenya. Number two, against the Mulembe nation. Why am I saying this? Atwoli defected, but Raila Odinga is telling the workers that, you see, this defection is informed by something else, not the fact that we lost election. Probably Atwoli has been compromised. And that's why if you listen to Atwoli's response, he was very clear on his response. That for him, he knew they were going to win and they didn't win. And Ruto won. Ruto came from nowhere. And of course, Atwoli also delivered one of the strongest messages that 2027 is not going to be easy for Raila Odinga. So for me, Raila was trying to set him up with the residents. I don't know whether it picked or with the workers, because let's face it, Ndugu Francis Atwoli is the Secretary General of Kotu. That's one of the biggest workers' union. It's actually a collection of workers' union in the Republic of Kenya, which makes Atwoli very powerful. And if he can't talk about the cost of living, the other day we saw teachers and police, their salaries were increased, but by how much? Atwoli is the one who is supposed to be talking about it. This high cost of living, who is supposed to talk about them? Ndugu Francis Atwoli. And for me, by the fact that Raila Odinga was addressing those issues, it simply means that he was trying to set him up against the people who voted him in office. Number three, I'm also sure and 100% certain that Raila Odinga's attacks on Atwoli were actually intended to gauge the reaction of the residents down there. That funeral was in Vihiga. Vihiga County is the home county of Musalia Mudavadi. You would have expected Raila Odinga to be chased, but Raila Odinga was received widely when he arrived there. So for me, he was gauging the reaction of the voters. And of course, he has now gauged the reaction of the voters. So probably he's coming up with a strategy of how he's going to venture into the politics of the Luhya nation there. So let us wait and see how it's going to unfold. And lastly, I also tend to think that Raila Odinga is simply out to fight back Atwoli and expose his hypocrisy. The truth is, and I've always maintained, that Atwoli was playing a critical role around Raila Odinga. That you cannot deny. In fact, if I hear anybody saying Atwoli did not bring anything, I'd be shocked. Because Atwoli used to have meetings with these guys at his residence every weekend. They would go, they'll have beer, they'll talk. Because in most cases, some things are normally discussed over beer or coffee. But working at Atwoli, those are what were beer. He provided that environment. The fact that he was able to organize Luhya politics, sponsor candidate here, bring them together, was also significant. So Raila Odinga is just telling the Kotu boss that, okay, the supporters that, okay, the role of Kotu is supposed to be fighting for the rights of workers, but you are not doing. And of course, Atwoli being Atwoli also responded so well to Raila Odinga. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. Bye-bye.